Good and tired is what I am. Thank you, babe.
We hope that you are well. We are doing well over here in Conversation Overheard land. And as usual, we have. Oh, wait, have we thanked the people for coming?
Excuse me. I'm so sorry. But you can thank them.
Have we thanked people for coming to our
We
event?
absolutely did.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure if we had seen you guys since we had our event, our in-person event, but nevertheless, we are planning for October, so stay tuned because we are nailing down the venue. You need some help, Jay?
I think it's on 2.
No, I have to do something. This one goes here. This is the YouTube one.
Okay.
Right.
We're working through some technical issues right now. But yes, we did actually thank everyone.
We did?
We did. We
Okay.
thanked them for coming out. And we had a good time. It was fun.
It was fun.
And
I enjoy the in-persons so much. I mean, I like these too, sitting here with you guys because, I love you guys. But I really enjoy the in-persons and hearing the commentaries of all of our guests.
I think it was a situation where everyone, kind of enjoyed themselves because, I was crowd spying a little bit. And they seem to be enjoying themselves.
We need to do temperature checks on our guests and make sure everybody's good.
Definitely. And I mean, we want them to come out. It was our first time at that venue, and definitely had a good time. Definitely want to send another shout out to Fat Burger, 825 East 87th Street.
The movie phone voice. What do we need to do, Jay?
Just
I don't know where this one goes. Well, quickly.
Okay.
'cause that's the one that's actually plugged up. So you take the USB out of there and just plug it into any of the USB ports, and then into 3. So we're working through it. But it was definitely, I know that I had a good time.
I know.
And again, I was kind of gauging the audience.
And the onion rings. I'm sorry, what onion rings? Because I was getting down on the onion rings. I hadn't had them in years, and I love them. And yeah,
The vegan shake. You found a few friends over there.
I did. I really did. And listen, if you guys are in Chicago, what day did we say we're doing it? October 26th, right?
Correct.
October 26th. If you're in Chicago or the Chicagoland area, please, or even if you have travel privileges, please come to us and attend our in-person event for Conversations Overheard. We don't want to tell you the venue just yet, but please believe it'll be some good conversations going on. And a lot of food. No, it's crooked. I'll do it.
Right side down.
Because I...
Perfect. Now too much. You overcompensated.
Okay, that's good. Come on, sit down, babes.
We're going to make it do what it does.
Yeah.
1,
So,
2, 3.
listen, tonight's conversation is going to be very good. And I think it'll be informative because we not only have good conversations, we try to bring things that are meaningful, helpful. We want people to take some golden nuggets away from each conversation that we have. And tonight we're talking about constructive or destructive versus destructive criticism.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just with in your relationship, with your romantic relationship, just in general, like constructive, I just think is said with a purpose, and you're trying to help the person. You're trying to help the person get better or trying to make a situation better versus destructive. You're just tearing someone down. Constructive criticism. You're giving them ways in which you could say, you're not just saying, hey, this was a terrible situation. You're telling them how it could have been a better situation.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you are giving constructive criticism, you are supposed to be trying to give people the tools to make them stand more erect, to make them taller, to make them better, to make them stronger. It should not be something where you're, basically removing 6 vertebrae from their spine and making them shrink, but I feel like as interpersonal communication has taken a backseat in the way that people talk to each other, because more things are online and it's not, touchy-feely and it's not in your face. I feel like people are much more emboldened in the way that they communicate because they are behind a screen and on a keyboard. And I feel like people, run around the house with their chest all stuck out thinking they're standing on business when it's supposed to be literally to build somebody up. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it comes off, at least what I read, as almost...
You're talking about social media then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Social media, for the most part in this example, I feel like it's more like bullying. Mm-hmm. It's not constructive at all. I feel, like even on this platform, you might get tongue-tied, you may misspeak, you may say something, people can be really rude. They might be like, you're tongue-twisted tramp,
You sound drunk.
You sound right. And it shouldn't be that way, right? But people who you don't know, especially
right.
strangers that are probably miserable and unhappy, are just trolling, the internet, looking for ways to pick out every flaw, imperfection, and make it seem like it is the end of your world.
That's true. So those are strangers. What about in a relationship, an actual romantic?
On a romantic relationship,
and you have a person that's just always nitpicking, and it doesn't feel so much like constructive. It feels destructive.
Yeah, that could be a big thing. But don't you think like that's the person who is probably insecure in the relationship doing that?
I don't know that that's 100% of it, but I think that there are certain people that complaining is what they do. Mm-hmm. Everything, no matter what you do or what goes on, and they always tell us in that work psychology thing or communications course that we all have to take at some point, and they say to start it off, you always talk about good, like I really enjoyed our time together, right. However,
right.
This, right. that, and the third. That's so it's constructive criticism, to your earlier point, is meant to edify, to build up, to work towards something, right. to make what is good great, or what's good better, or however that works. Sometimes, some people just, they complain. They complain their way all the way through stuff. And it's just their way of, if you tell them something, hey, I got a promotion. Yeah, you've been there long enough. And it's like...
that little job.
Right,
so... founder.
Right. Like, damn, now? Okay, wow. So, constructive criticism, there's a part of it, because, if it's in a relationship, there's a part of it where you should be able to come to your mate and say, hey, I'd like to see this better.
Right.
Or what I saw in that instance was not sufficient. It can be skewed at times, and sometimes some people are just not built to take criticism. They want they want you to blow a rainbow everywhere you go. It's beautiful, everything's nice, it's great, nothing's gonna happen. So it can be tough at times. It can definitely be tough, and depending on the situation and where you all are in the relationship. And if it is, in fact, constructive.
Like my love language, one of my love languages is I like to cook for people. Like if I've ever cooked you something.
So acts of service.
No.
Well,
cooking specifically.
Yeah,
I'm like cooking. So you're just saying that's what you do when you love. Because
if I have cooked you something,
love language. Okay.
If I have done that for you, it's because I love you. Because I'm not doing that just for anybody. Okay. Right? That's just something that I enjoy. So that is part of my love language. How I want to show you. Do I believe in a whole bunch of acts of service? No, I'm not that girl who's going to be doing all of that stuff. Like, I'm not coming over and washing your towels.
I picked up your dry cleaner. I picked up your dry cleaner.
Right.
Because
Not
she knows
washing your laundry.
I like to wash. I use up a lot of towels.
So my acts of service has, right, some confines to them. But if I've done that, right, if I've cooked for you, it's because I want to do that for you, right? And, you know, I'm interested. Like, was it good? Did you like it? You know, and I can tell if people kind of don't like it, you know, because they don't really say anything. You know, if it's good, people are like, this is fire. You know what I mean? If they don't, they just eat it. You know, you're like, do you like it? But I want the truth, right? And I want them to be like, oh, this is the worst crap I've ever had. I feel like throwing up. But I do want them to be like, you know, it's not your best.
Hot cardboard.
It's not, it's not your best. I've had better. You know, you've done better. You know, that's okay. I'm cool with that. But you don't have to make somebody feel like, you know, burn your apron. You know, stay out the kitchen.
Don't ever go to the kitchen.
Right.
Ever.
You know,
Jump off the roof.
jump off the roof, right.
It's tough, and I mean, it's funny that you touch on the cooking one, because I always, and you all know this, I'll take advantage of my friends and be like, so, you know, I'm trying to get like some reviews, and I need to know, you know, because I know that you all are going to tell me the truth. But some people are just, they're not, you know, they're like, they'll tell you, well, I ate it, and you're like,
And I didn't die.
I'm looking at that, you know, you haven't shared anything with me that I don't already know. So I really, when you say that, I really feel that. I really feel like, you know, man, people need to communicate, but some people are just not taught to do that.
It's true.
And
not effectively.
And some people, you know, in the form of constructive criticism as it relates to cooking, people don't want to hurt your feelings. You know, so it gets to a part where, you know, that there's a thin line between constructive and abusive, and a person not trying to hurt your feelings will just not say anything because they don't want to, you know, kind of cross that line, that proverbial line, if you will. And, you know, to your point, you know, hey, we're big people, we can handle it, and I actually kind of need it.
Everybody can't handle it, though. Some people are just sensitive, and so when you know that, then it's hard to give any type of criticism, any constructive criticism on how to make something better when you know you have a person who's sensitive. So then it's like, then what do you do? And do you say nothing? But you love the person, but you know that they're sensitive.
It's kind of like that teacher situation, right? A teacher has to be able to figure out how to motivate every child.
Right.
Not just a child that, you know, is easygoing, you know, accepts, you know, the good and the bad, but even the one that cries if they get one wrong. Like any red marking on their paper, they're, oh my God, it's the end of the world, the worst student ever. Yeah, that person. So they have to find a way to make it okay.
That's a little different.
But let me just finish. So my point is, if you have a person who's overly sensitive like that, then you may need to start with something that is very positive about the situation.
Right. You got 24 out of 25 right.
Right. Or however many, you know, you did so many things right. It's just this one little thing. You just need to be creative in your delivery. And I think that is a big part of being constructive, your delivery. If it sounds... If you question that it sounds offensive, then it probably is. If you have to question that about yourself, like, was that a little bit curved, sharp?
Too. You have to question
it probably is.
Yeah.
So, you know, scale back a little bit. Think about how I could say it better. Because that's being constructive with yourself. Communication is a two-way street. The speaker and the listener.
I think, though, when you're dealing with adults, like dealing with children, they're in a teacher role, because the teacher's job is to help mold. But when you're dealing with adults and you're dealing with a loved one, a friend, a family member, and you're trying to offer constructive criticism, sometimes you just have to say, you know, I really want to help this person, but I know that they're sensitive. Is it worth it for me to say something to them and risk hurting their feelings? Or do I just close my mouth because we've already had this conversation and I don't want to encroach upon that boundary again, because at this point that person may take it destructively.
So in therapy, my counselor, whatever you want to call her, she said to say the exact things that you just said as the precursor, as the disclaimer before you say what it is you want to say. You're being honest. You're being vulnerable with your feelings, with your fear about having a conversation. At that point, it's up to them to say, keep it to yourself. You know, I don't want to hear it. Then they have to internalize, I'm being an asshole. And
so,
not you being the asshole because you want to communicate something, because you've asked A, for permission.
Yeah.
One of the things that really works for me, and I mean, you all know this about me, but I mean, I'm quite the funny guy. So, in the name of humor,
He's so humble.
right? But in the name of humor, it gives me a lot of latitude to say a lot of things. I can present something in a non-threatening manner, masked in a joke with the meaning, and so that kind of works for me in a lot of situations. And to your earlier point, some people are just not prepared to deal with criticism. It's just nothing. There's no part. Everything has to be rosy. Everything is strawberries and marshmallows.
Because listen, if you've said, if I see you doing something and you're making a mistake and I bring it to you, and because I love you, and then you thank me, but you keep doing it, and it's not good for you, do I have a responsibility as a person who loves you to keep telling you, or do you just say, what? You just back off and let them live their life. And see, that's what I'm saying.
You can only lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, I'm being destructive. My behaviors are being destructive.
Because they have agency over what they do with their mind, their body, and everything
So
else.
you have to really decide before you speak, is this constructive or is this destructive?
Yeah.
Because everything, just because you think you're sounding constructive, because you think that, okay, well, there's room for improvement, let me help. Maybe you should stop. You should fall back.
And
so that's when we have to decide, that whole think before you speak thing.
And I'm going to pick my battles sometimes. Sometimes I'm going to say, I told you, you're doing it. I'm not really ready to have this conversation with you about that, because it's just, you're not, I said something, you acknowledged it, and you did it right back again. So is this something that I want to, draw a line in the sand, or is this something that, like you said, I want you to be you? I'm going to allow you to be you.
I mean, if I was a drug addict and you told me, hey, Janae, meth is going to kill you. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, Gary. Yeah, let me go hit. I don't even know how you do meth. I don't know if you eat it, smoke it, chew it.
You can do it always. You can do it. You can do it always.
Yeah,
you can snort it. You can shoot it. You can.
However you
smoke
ingest it. If I was like, thank you, but I'm going to consume it again, then I'm not ready. I just
smoke it. I'm just a smoker. I'm not like I don't put it up my nose.
And you have to be ready. You have to be ready to receive things sometimes. But on the other side of that, what Kimmy just said, sometimes we may think that we're being constructive and we're giving them our opinion, and we may feel like it's right, but it's really, at the end of the day, our opinion. And so what we feel and our belief system about it may not be the rest of the world's, including that person that's doing whatever they're doing.
Mine is right.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm just saying. Go ahead. Speak for yourself. Go ahead.
Marlon.
But I mean, I've had some wonderful opportunities to date some really great young ladies, and over time, I'm kind of that job counselor type of person. So, this person said or did this to me at my job. What do you think I should do? And sometimes I have to really recognize that, man, my reach into the dating pool has been expansive. So sometimes I get people that are not really all that polished, and they popped off or wanted to pop off, and so now I'm doing something that's, it's not just that instance. It's something that all their life they've been used to popping off, or all their life they've been used to doing this, or they'll tell me stuff that I think is crazy, like what's 5 minutes between friends? If I can't, I'm late. I mean, I got there, I was there. So, I mean, do I want to have that argument? Am I in this long term? Is it really going to help? Those are all things that I may take into account before I even respond, because, you know, I am going to choose my battles, and I don't want to just talk for the sake of talking. If you're not going to get better, then I need to decide if that's something that I can deal with.
Because that's time wasted.
Yeah.
That you can't get back.
And if I'm not trying to leave right then and there, you know, maybe I just kind of ignore that one, and you know, we kick the can down the road a little bit.
Something that you had said, it reminded me of a conversation that you and I had not too long ago. When people joke about something, like, you know, they're just being funny, you know, there's an element of truth in it.
Absolutely.
And so when you said you're a funny guy and you get to, like, you know, make jokes about something that kind of is real, I always feel like that. I feel like, you know, behind the funny face, there's a layer of truth. Your truth. It may not be the truth, but it's a layer of your truth. And that is your way. Sometimes it's passive aggressive of getting it out. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the most constructive way, though. Is my point.
Well, I mean, it's sometimes, you know,
It may be the only way, but right.
Sometimes it's a way. Because, I mean, I'm that person that'll come out and say it, too. Like, hey, you know, this was not cool, or, you know, I thought that this could be better. But sometimes you are dealing with people that are emotionally tied to situations or even to a time period in their life. So you can't always, you know, just say, hey, you know, we're going to have this come to Jesus conversation right here, right now. You know, maybe I'm going to, you know, laugh and joke about it like, man, you really stomped her out. You know, that you didn't, man, wow. I thought it was a karate movie. So, you know, there are times when I'm going to pick my battles. There are times when I'm just going to say it. And then there are times when I'm going to funny ha-ha it.
So I got a scenario for both of you all. I want you to weigh in on a relationship level. You got two people who are living together. We could even say they're married, newly married. I don't know how, whatever you want to say. And you know, your thing is, I need for you to be more tidy, right? And she's like, okay, you know, I need for you to do the dishes. At least load them in the dishwasher, you know. And so this person wants the relationship to work. So they're like, I'm going to be more tidy. I'm going to do this thing. And then they're loading the dishwasher, pressing start, you know, trying to just do all the things. And you pick your glass up out the dishwasher and you hold it up to the light. It's got maybe some shit at the bottom, spots on it. And you're like, this is not clean. Right? But in the woman's mind, she's like, damn, I didn't do
doing what you asked.
180, you know, and I feel like you're just complaining, like there's no pleasing you. You know, when you asked for this, I did this. You didn't show me how to do it. You just told me to do it. So at what point do we say, okay, right, maybe my expectations were too high too soon, too quick, too fast. And maybe I should have walked her through it. Maybe she didn't have those responsibilities at home. We had those responsibilities of cleaning up, but a lot of kids didn't. They just had people that did it for them, you know, and so they got out in the real world and then they just half-assed did everything. So how would you, if you were on the receiving end, what would that communication look like to keep everything constructive? Because this is at a pivotal point where things can go
This
south.
is a romantic relationship, and you said newly married. That's right.
Or newly together,
so
or newly.
If we're newly married, if we're newly together, if we're just dating.
No, cohabitating. I said you live together.
Okay.
So I said married, or
if we're living in the same household, and I'm thinking that this is for life, which is what usually happens if most people are living together, then I would feel invested enough in this person into this relationship to say, okay, I know we talked about the dishes and you load them in, but this dishwasher obviously does not clean very well because this is still dirty. So before you check it, before you unload the dishwasher, you need to kind of like check the dishes and make sure. And then after that, I'm probably going to fall back just to see. And then I'm going to let that person see me unload the dishwasher and then check them if they're not clean. Either leave them in there, hey, so-and-so, they're not clean. I'm gonna redo it.
You immediately took the man's role because you're the boss. She took your role. I wanted you to answer that part.
I thought you were asking both of us.
I did, but I wanted you to be the woman and you to be the man. In
you
this
didn't
scenario.
say we were role playing. Did you? Oh, okay, well.
Because you're right.
Gary. You need to unload that dishwasher.
And watch me.
I mean, as the man in that situation, and let's say I'm the person that's being dirty.
No, you're the one.
She wants us to role play this situation.
Okay.
You're not the dirty one. You're the clean one.
Okay.
Who wants everything clean.
Okay.
And she did what you asked her to do immediately. It wasn't any hemming and hawing. It just wasn't to your liking.
I'm gonna say that, Kim. I mean, thank you, number one, for putting them in the dishwasher. I've been watching. You've been doing great, but this is not. This we can do better. There's a lot of runway for improvement here.
A lot of runway for improvement. God, oh yeah.
You did great. That sounds so condescending. You did great.
I mean,
with your filthy self.
Nasty. No, it's a. I'm gonna try to be gentle in that situation. Like, hey, thank you. I see you trying, but there's room for improvement here.
How would you respond if somebody said that?
That sounds. That
That's
doesn't sound
exactly
real.
what he said.
It doesn't sound
It's
real.
scary.
He wouldn't say it like that. He would probably be like, "Hey, these still aren't." I mean, I wouldn't want you to be so formal with me.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, so if you did say that, I would be okay with it. Like, oh,
Who are you talking to?
I would pull them out and say, oh, you know what, you're right, they're not clean. Let me rerun it, or let me soak this first, and then I'll put it back in there later, soak it and rinse it off. Because we know dishwashers don't.
Would you say anything about the way that, let's say he spoke to you in that way?
It just sounds formal. It wasn't. Yeah, I would be like, a lot of room for improvement. Yeah. Because it sounds like you're talking to one of your employees. It does. And so, I don't really think...
Technically, you would be on the payroll if we were living together.
I don't really think that you would approach your woman, your
Let me call
wife,
Amy.
or girlfriend. I don't think that you would really approach that person sounding so informal. I don't think you would. But I just think that in this scenario, it just came off like that. Because I think that you would be a whole lot less formal. You would be like, "Hey, babe, this isn't clean. You mind redoing this?" Or I don't.
I think I would be aware, because if we were newly to cohabitate, then I know that this is an argument that if I have it the right way, I don't have to have it again. So if I don't really get out there, and if I don't toss a hand grenade off the bat, then I get a chance to kind of we can work towards it. And you are trying to get better. So let me encourage that behavior, and let me try to talk to you in a way that, hey, look, man.
Motivates you.
Yeah. Or doesn't demotivate you. You like, I ain't doing it. You ain't my daddy.
Right.
That's not what you said last night. So I mean, it's I probably would say it just like that, especially in a situation where we just started cohabitating.
Mm-hmm. You would say it that formally?
Probably.
Really?
Probably.
Okay, well, let me just say.
Okay.
Let me give you some constructive criticism.
Hook me up.
Talking formally like that to a person that you're in a romantic relationship with can sound condescending.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to be like some loving words, like, "Hey, babe, this isn't clean. You mind running this through again?" Not, "You're doing a great job." Because that sounds condescending. That sounds like,
I like that you're doing a great job part. I don't like there's
the dishwasher.
I don't like there's a runway, a room
huge,
for
huge,
you
to improve.
a huge, not just a runway, a
huge runway.
A huge runway.
So I just think that that whole blurb that you said sounded kind of condescending. But I think that it would come off better if you were just kind of like just talking. And so let me just say, sometimes when you're with a partner who is a boss at work, they can come home and bring it home, and bring that same tone home to work. I mean, to the house, because I've had that before too, and with my ex-husband, I like to tell him, "Hold on, homie, I don't work for you. I don't."
Despite the fact that you being on the payroll.
Nevertheless, I don't work for you, and I'm
not working for you now.
I'm not one of your children. And
you don't W-2 me.
Right, and I had to actually, I've had to say that. I had to tell a guy that I was dating, hold on, I'm not one of your kids. So like, so I had to. You have to let people know how to talk to you. And so if I were in a relationship with you, and you were very informal to me, and I mean you were very formal to me because that's how you were accustomed to talk, I would be like, you okay? I would be, I would say, babe, it's okay. I got you. Let me, because I would want you to bring it down. Because if we're in a new relationship, I would want you to know how to talk to me.
And the other part of it.
But you're such a funny guy that you could get away with something like, babe, was you blindfolded when you did these dishes? You can make it.
Yeah, I can do those things as well. But the part that I'm trying to do on the back end is that if I tell you something once, I told you, I informed you. If I have to tell you again, then I'm starting to get into that emotional realm of I'm feeling some type of way about it. If I have to tell you 3 times, are you not hearing me? Do I need to do sign language? I mean, what's going on here? So I mean, and talking formal and
that just starts to crown inside. When he said, "Do I have to do sign language?"
I know.
You said that to me.
I know. If you said, "What do I have to do sign language?" and do I'm like, so now you're talking to her like she's a dunce.
But I've had to tell you this 3 times.
That's exactly what I was feeling. I'm like,
who's Margareting now?
But if I have to tell you something 3 times, so I mean, what I want to do is I want to get my point across the first time. I want to be as non-threatening as possible, and I want to say it in a way that that I'm serious about it. And here's what happened. Here's what needs to happen, and that's going to be my objective in that situation.
Okay, but there is a way you talk to people, and if you're talking to somebody that you are sleeping with, you need to come with some loving words, not be, because sounding super formal can sound super cold, and you don't.
Right.
Are you looking to her for confirmation?
No, I'm sitting here thinking, like, in my mind, the exact thing that you're talking about.
It sounds
like,
cold.
Where does the I told you this once, I told you this twice, where does it stop? Like, we're talking about chores. What if it was intimacy? What are you going to say? I told you to move your ass in a circle. I mean,
put your leg behind your head.
My point is, you kind of sound like the boss of it.
I'm kind of the boss.
Oh, this is the male chauvinist.
Right. I'm kind of the boss. I am.
It sounds... But you get more bees with honey.
That's not how you lead, though.
And this is a partnership, right?
Yeah.
And this is somebody who you want to respect you, but at the same time, you have to show them respect.
I do believe that the man is the head of the household. I do believe that.
Me too.
But I do think that there's a way to lead without sounding like
a dictatorship.
Yeah, you can't do, because then.
After the 3rd time, I'm not going to take her out and have her shot. But but then
you don't want it to be a push and pull. So in order for the woman to submit to your constructive criticism, she has to receive it. And if she has a wall up because you're talking very formally and she's thinking, who does this motherfucker think he's talking to? Then she's not going to receive it, because all she's thinking about is, I can't wait for him to finish the sentence so I can say, who you think you're talking to?
A woman who submits wants to submit because she genuinely wants her man happy. Not submitting because she is afraid of
or she was beaten into submission.
Right. Not because she fears
abusive tones.
Right, of being chastised, like,
the runway has
a child, or there's a way to do things, like Kimmy just said. There's a way, And it's all, again, about your delivery. And I do feel like love and resolve needs to be the catalyst of how you speak to people. What kind of resolve do you want? Do you want to resolve where everybody's good and, or do you want to resolve like, I'm doing this shit, but only because you're going to pack my bags and they're going to be sitting outside if I don't? Nobody wants that feeling, right? This is a partnership. This is a love thing.
It's a love thing.
All right. Okay. Before
Back.
cousin killers get to moving over here.
I hear what you all are saying.
But there's a but there.
I hear what you all are saying. I mean, I'm processing at this point.
Okay.
I don't have a rebuttal or a retort. I mean, I'm listening.
So we're
I
saying
heard
this
you.
with love. I'm saying that this is how you lead. I'm saying that this is how you are in a loving relationship. You have to speak with loving words. So effective leaders don't lead by just cracking the whip. They lead by showing you and speaking strength into the people that are following them.
So if she would have asked you, "Oh, I'm sorry, could you show me how you want it done?"
I would be more than happy to. It would be my pleasure.
Yeah.
But it can't be like,
Damn it, you stick to
I done told
so
you.
is it that hard? Is it that hard? 3 times I've told you. Damn, Gina. It can't be that.
I don't know that I would quite come off that strong, even in full anger. But it is honestly it is frustrating to the first time you tell somebody they didn't know, the second time they forgot, the third time, I mean, what are we really dealing with here?
So you think patience has a lot to do with how constructive you can possibly be in your criticism?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And do you think the older you get, the less patient you are?
I firmly believe that. I think that as you get older, you know more what you want. And when you see signs of things that you don't, they trigger you. Or they can trigger you.
I think so too, actually.
I think that, the danger of getting older is that, what you're willing to tolerate becomes less and less and less and less.
That is so true.
And so within that, there's a situation where, your tolerance for BS or what you perceive to be BS is probably slightly over zero.
But I will say this. We agree on that. But one of the things that we would definitely say is that...
Hold on. Are you the spokesperson for her?
I'll tell you this for sure. That one of the things that would be one of the things that we aren't going to deal with is somebody not speaking to us like they have some sense.
That's true.
Because if you start out this relationship like that, what do we have to look forward to when things don't meet your bar?
You definitely make a valid point.
Yeah.
And I'm not, it's not like, this is strike 3. I'm not that person. But at the third time, I am having that conversation in my head. Like,
so Gary, you do know that you wear your emotions and your feelings on your face.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that. Wow.
But you do. So even if you don't say it with your mouth and your words, you are wearing it on your face that I'm fed up. And I'm not saying it because...
He was being sarcastic.
I know he was. Okay. But I'm just letting you know that I know. I know that you know that I know.
And now I know that you know that I know that you know.
And now they know too.
Correct.
But yeah. That's hard too when you see your person just walking around frustrated. You know, over something that you feel like, damn, I was trying.
There's some firewalls for me. I mean, before I get to a point where it does become emotional, because it's not my realm. So I'm not...
You wear your emotions on your face too.
But before something becomes emotional for me, I will, not disengage from the relationship, but disengage from that situation. I may walk away, or I may say, you know what, let me go get a drink of water, or I'm going to go ahead and start dinner. I'm not going to, because when stuff becomes emotional, I don't do well in that space.
Yeah. I remember one time somebody had said something cross, and I damn near was doing happy dances and talking like Elmo to get you to shake it off. Just like Can you please?
I remember that.
Yeah.
We were tussling over a phone. I was like, oh no, I'm coming back.
No.
But it, again,
That
in the
was
context
business.
of
I'm glad you.
in the context of a relationship, you do have to, adjust your communication. You have to adjust how you communicate and hear that person, and that's important. So I'm glad that you all brought that up because, my objective is to be constructive.
Yeah.
I would never want to, especially consciously, be a destructive criticizer. I don't. That's not
to a person that you love.
That in anybody, because it's wasted
That's
energy
true.
for just
That's true.
somebody that I
That's
meet,
true.
and then it's
You're
negative
not gonna
energy.
tear down people anyway.
Yeah, it's negative energy for a person that I say that I love. So
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be that person. I don't ever want to, come across that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a step back. You said earlier today, fall back. And maybe not fall back like all the way back, but just let me fall back for 10 minutes and just recalibrate and figure out how I want to motivate this person to do
Or
the
not.
right thing. Right.
Or not, because if they're sensitive and you know that they're not going to receive it well, and you've already had a conversation about it, because it's a friend, not a person that you live with that you love, you just have to fall back and say,
Yeah, I mean, if it's somebody that you don't have to live with, and it's not the person that you're in a relationship with, or it's not the person that you're paying, your employee, then yeah, you could fall back and be like, all right, figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that you have to live with,
right,
or that you are in a relationship,
right,
or that you are,
you see a person making the same mistake again, you just like, you have to, you know what? We've already had the conversation. This is your life. I'm going to support you. I'm going to love you, but this is your life.
I dated someone and she was a pretty good cook in her own right. And so, it's always in my dating relationships, whether we're cohabitating or not, who's going to cook. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she was pretty decent cook, and
decent.
She was.
Okay.
At first, she was a good cook in her own right. Now she is decent. But
I mean, decent. The colloquial.
The could be prison for you.
No, in the colloquial sense, decent is very good.
All right.
Okay.
Like, man, how was she? Man, she was decent.
Okay. All right.
So
I received that. Okay.
So anyway, within that, we kind of vacillated between I was going to cook, she was going to cook. And then finally, it was just, we had to kind of work to that space where she was just like, you know what, just go ahead and do it. Because, I mean, she was slow. It took her forever to do anything.
Okay.
And it was, her food was good. But I could always do it quicker. And we had more time to do other things if I cooked. So she just kind of yielded to that. But we had to get to that point. Mm-hmm. And it was something that I had to just kind of pick my battles and not, stop her from cooking or be like, hey, no, or, man, I fell asleep waiting on you to get the food ready. But it was just something that I had to kind of fall back a little bit and be like, okay, it's just, it's normal for, a person to have worked 8 hours a day and then come home and take them 4 hours to cook. That's quite normal.
Or could the compromise have been, or did you probably did do this, you just jump in and help and just, start to help, because cooking together can be fun.
Let me say this. I'm sure there is a lot of validity to what you just said, mm-hmm. but people get territorial when there's context.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And, I like to cook, but I will put you in a lesser role. I will have you sous chef, and I will be like
chopping and dicing
and cleaning.
Peeling.
Right, so that is not necessary. I've starred in that movie. That's not really that productive.
Okay.
And depending on the location that you are, if you are at that person's house, people become very territorial about their kitchens.
That's true.
So people don't like you to really be cooking in their kitchen.
But I'm with you. I think cooking together could be fun, and I would.
There's some ways that I can tell you about cooking off air that are extremely fun.
Keep it PG.
It would be PG mostly, but it would, there are some ways that really works well. Mm-hmm. But if there is context, if there has been any sort of, beyond friendly banter, because every cook should feel like, man, this is going to be the greatest meal ever. I mean, if you're golfing with somebody, it's like, man, I'm gonna beat you today. I love you. We're gonna ride home together, but I'm gonna get you by 3-4 strokes. That's kind of what I do. So there should always be that part of it in the cooking situation, but it also it can degenerate fast, very fast.
I guess if something doesn't turn out right, you'd be looking at them like, this celery wasn't so damn big. You know? Big chunks.
Right, you made this is chunky style, I see. You know, so I mean I'm hearing though the things that you all are saying. And, you know, I know that I can be downright caustic at times. So I have to kind of self-police myself and make sure that I'm not saying some things because, you know, as a funny person, I do get a lot of liberty. And I do get to kind of color outside the lines at different times. And I want to, if I'm trying to be constructive, I want to be constructive. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I just wonder, taking what you said, when you feel like you're in a relationship with someone and you just have to be like, okay, I'm going to fall back because it's not constructive, they're sensitive. When does it become destructive for you not to be able to voice your opinion?
Because it's eating you up.
Because you can't, right, you're like verbally incarcerated. You can't voice anything because if you do, it's taken out of context and it's
you just have to keep reminding yourself this is. So if you mean in a romantic relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant a friendship.
In a romantic relationship, I'm gonna say how I feel.
Yeah.
I may not be as strong in it as, you know, if you have some sort of sensitivities. Right. But I need to say it because, I mean, it's unhealthy for me to keep it. And it's unhealthy if I deliver it the wrong way. So I have to find that middle ground where I can say what I have to say. And even to the point where I'm going to say that, hey, you know what? Man, we're not going to keep going back and forth about this. You know, I asked, you didn't do it. So we're going to move on.
Strike one.
You didn't do it.
You see the face though? I asked, you didn't do it. And them hands. You got one more time.
Oh, Lord mercy.
No, I mean, it's you know, this is television. It probably comes off like that.
Okay.
I thought you meant in a friendship situation. I was going to say I just would fall back. I'm not saying anything. But for a romantic relationship, I would say something. It just wouldn't. My approach is nowhere near your approach. I think I have way more savvy to talk to people lovingly, because like
I meant it in love.
Like Jay said, you catch more bees with honey.
Yeah.
And hold on, you gonna look at me like what?
I asked, you didn't do it. So.
There's no bumblebees in his yard, his garden.
Nope. Oh my God, Gary.
What?
We trying, girl. We trying.
I mean, but I market in everything I do. But I refuse to market in relationships to make it sweeter. I mean, it is what it is.
No, it is not. It is what it is. It is what you make it. And it is...
No. It's how they take it.
No.
Oh, my goodness. It's not what you make it. It's how they
Time
take
out.
it. I know.
You have to...
Lights out, go to bed.
You have to, in order for your relationship to grow, you have to speak love into it. And speaking love into someone isn't being condescending or being short with them or
I've already told you one time.
in a low tone berating, because that's all it is. That's
I
berating.
didn't say it all like that. But I am going to communicate to that person that, hey,
it's very much so giving when you get through with all that crying and getting all these tears on my shirt.
That's another show altogether.
Yeah, but it's giving.
But it's it's still there.
Yeah, so the chauvinist is like peeking his little ugly head.
I am an admitted and professed chauvinist. I'm a card-carrying member of Chauvinists of America.
These are not our words. This is something that Gary has admitted to several
No,
shows.
I totally am, and I think that there is a reason and a place for chauvinism, and I think that it's closely related to chivalry. That man, I'm going to open doors. I'm going to do all of those things, and there are things that a man should do. A man should take out the garbage. Now, obviously, there's a degree of fluidity in relationships. Man, I mean, if the garbage is bothering you, take it out. I get it.
Those are roles that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So within that, I mean, but I'm the chauvinist. I am a chauvinist.
But you can't speak unkindly to someone because
if you are a chauvinist, right? You should.
You have to be aware of your partner's feelings. That's all we're saying.
And I try to be.
People are porous, so they're going to absorb what you say, and they're going to absorb your energy, and then that is the product of what you're left with. And do you really want someone to absorb just curtness and almost a level of fear from you because you're the boss? Is that what you want? Is that the product that you want laying next to you? Someone who's kind of scared?
No.
He's so silly.
No, I mean, there is definitely, we are equals in that respect. I want you to be able to express the whole gamut of your feelings.
And then do what I say afterwards.
No, but I do want us to communicate about how something made me feel. About how I thought that it could be better, and sometimes I'm not denying everything that you all are saying. I know that there are times when I can be short, when I can be quote unquote emotionally handicapped, and I also think that there is a time where women play on that emotionality a little bit because it's not our sphere. It's not in a man's nature to be emotional. We're not taught that. So a lot of times when we're dealing with emotionality, it is, our first real foray into that area.
So you think women play on that?
I don't think that they play on it. I think that anybody is going to use the tools that is available to them. If I attack somebody in a knife factory, I'm probably going to get stabbed. If I, if I start something in a pickaxe factory, I'm going to probably get pickaxed. People are going to use the tools that are available. So as a man, I know that I can't use the physical tool that I'm stronger than you. I can beat you. I have to.
So when you say that women use that against, so do you mean in that situation where the women are not really feeling the emotions, but they're just kind of like faking it just because...
Like manipulating you with it.
Manipulating is a very good word. Manipulating is they will take advantage of that, or they will try to draw you into the emotional part of it, knowing that that's not your area. We get there, we learn how to navigate. I don't think that, for the most part, men really ever successfully understand how to emote and how to emote on the level of a woman and at the same time as she is in the space that she's in. I don't.
This needs to be a whole different conversation because it's been an hour.
Yeah, and we're kind of off the topic.
We're way off the topic, but we need
that is very interesting, Gary.
Both of y'all look like it ain't no hope for you, boy.
You said it.
That's how y'all looking. I'm just reading your thoughts. Stop thinking so loud.
So, should we just wrap this up and come back to this another time?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I have a pickaxe or something, when I'm in my hand.
Or if I attack you in a knife factory. OJ.
So, at any rate, we're going to end this conversation, but we will let you guys know on social media where our venue will be on 10/26. October 26th is our next in-person event.
So pencil that date on your calendars for Conversations Overheard. It is a Sunday, and that will be our next in-person.
And we don't want to hear nothing about no damn Bears game or any other game.
It's a bye. No, just kidding.
Right.
So, at any rate, have a great evening. Any more other...
That's it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and tell a friend.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Have a great night.
Thank you. You want me to do that one? Or you got it?
You got this one.
Nope, you don't have it. You did it again.
Me? Is it the X?
I should have told you one time.
I know.
I know, that's why I was like, she's like, nope, you don't got it. Let me step off.
That might be a good in-person one. Emotionality.
We're still live on this one.